guys, it's Kate and I hope you're having a great day. I'm here with my BaoHong paper that I'm still playing with and a little spritzer and my Marie's Masters palette. And I'm going to start off by just moistening my paper, so I'm going to be working wet on wet today. And I'm getting it good and moist, and I'm going to go in with my larger quill brush and just kind of get it spread out and make sure that my page is coated and it's absorbed water well. I've also got it on a slight incline, just kind of propped up by my little Winsor & Newton Cotman color palette in the back. Okay, so I've got it pretty well soaked in all the way around, and I'm going to go into my raw sienna here, and I'm going to get a pretty good brush load and kind of start mixing it into my tray. And I'm going to get some good color on this. That way I can spread it over my paper. And this paper, I have the lower weight, so it does have a bit of buckling, but it works itself out once it dries, which is really nice. But I'm going to go through this and finish up the paper, and then I probably will go back to my regular 140-pound weight, but I am really enjoying playing with this while I've got it. The paper itself is wonderful, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. So I'm just putting a nice even-ish coat. I don't mind it being a bit cloudy. It's going to give a little bit of interest to my background, but I'm going to start with a full one color. And I'm just making sure I have a good coat on everything. Now I'm going to go in with my smaller quill brush, and I'm going to go into my Indian red. Now this is kind of like almost like a brick red. You could probably get a color that's kind of toned down like this if you don't have a convenience color in your palette. Mixing a red that you have with a little bit of green will give you kind of a nice toned down red color. So while my paper is still wet, I am going to put in some simple circle shapes. And these are going to be soft and spread out a little bit once they dry. But I'm just going to start with this for our first coat. Now I've got a couple of other circles off here to the side, but I'm going to be more concentrated toward the center here, around this sort of larger circle and further out. That way this will kind of be almost like a center of attention with a grouping of bubbles. And I'm going to put one over there. And I might even add a few little ones here to the mix. And just let this spread out however it needs to. And just overlap these circles. Just like that. And I'm going to let this dry. All right, I am back, and I think it's time to add some more color. So I'm going to take what I have left over of my Indian red there, and I'm going to add some alizarin crimson to it and a little bit of umber deep. And this is going to make a really nice sort of chocolatey reddish brown. I'm going to add a little bit more crimson in there and get a good brush load. And I'm going to come on the inside of some of these circles. And I'm probably going to grab my other brush, maybe. Let's see how this one works. I'm going to do some dragging and get this to spread out a bit inside of this circle. Just like that. I'm going to try maybe wetting this circle first and see how it does, just dropping some color in there. Let's see. Oh, I like that too. All right. let's go for this one here. And just go right in with that color. I'm adding some kind of shading to this. So I'm just moistening each circle as I go, dropping in color, and I'm just going to let that kind of bleed in where I have that moisture. And I like this paper because you don't really get a lot of color lift going on, which is nice. I get to still keep that strong layer underneath. And so it's almost like we're making some bubbles. Let me get some more color in here. Add some water. Yeah, that looks good. All right, I'm going to come in here with some color. Drag that a bit. And I might come in here and I like that little bit of a brighter red, so I'm going to try dropping a little bit more of that in to some of these spots, just to let that come through a bit more, just like that. Yeah, I like that. Let me get some moisture here and come in with this color. And add a little bit there. And just keep going. All right. I'm going to grab my smaller quill brush and I'm going to go back into this alizarin crimson and keep it pretty red. And I'm going to come in here to these smaller circles and I'm going to fill them in. With just some nice heavy color. And I'm going to go over some of these wet areas too and let that spread wherever it wants to. And the parts that are drier, it'll just be a nice hard line. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do on this circle in the background is add a little bit of color there. So we've got some shading going on here too. And I'm going to just drag this out a bit and kind of work around what I've got here. I'm going to drag this out a little bit, just like that. Nice. Now I'm going to go more into this umber deep and really darken it up. And I'm going to come around a few of these little spots here and add kind of a harder edge on the right. And I'm going to try to make it a bit crescent shaped so it's not just like a blobby line. I'm going to start narrow and then put some pressure on my brush to the belly and then lift up as I come around so it's a nice rounded shape. Let me add a little bit more water, just a touch of red, but I want this to be mostly a dark brown. And I'm going to do here and come up. I'm not going to put any here. I'm going to start here and come up. I'm going to start here and come up and just go around. And again, I'm just allowing it to spread if it's over any wet areas. But I'm just embracing the layering of this. Just like that. And then I'm going to let this dry. All right, I'm back and I'm getting into my Viridian Green. And I want to add a little bit of another color. So I'm mixing that in with just what I have left on my palette so I can get a nice kind of dark, rich green. And what I'm going to do is outline these red circles that I made before and just have them pop up to the front even more, just like this. I like this layering. Now where this one spread out, I'm still going to go with the original outline, and I'm going to go outside of it a bit so you can see that green color where it's kind of layered, so you can get a better picture of what it is. Just like that. And what I'm also going to do is come back in and grab some on my brush, and I'm going to still stay in this area, but I'm going to add a few little splashes just like that and give it some texture on the page. And then why not do a little bit of that also with our gold? You gotta love the metallics. So I'm going to put some on there too. Just like that. Now while that's kind of drying, I'm going to grab my white jelly roll pen because we love the jelly roll. And I'm just going to come around a couple of these and just make some little squiggly lines to add some more texture to my paper. Just like this. And I'm just doing the larger brown circles. And I'm going to go over all of them. And that's just going to add that really little pop of brightness. And I might even go around this big circle that I put down first a couple of extra times. And I think we can call this painting done. I really enjoyed doing this with you today. I'm going to give you the close-up, and that way you can also see the gold. Let's see if we can get some of that sparkle in the light. And we have a good mix of values, and this is just a very simple exercise that you can do with glazing and just letting color spread and testing out your paper. So I hope you enjoyed this painting today. Thank you so much for joining me, and make sure to give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more like this. And until next time, keep creating. Bye.